Over 90% of people who begin the jiu-jitsu journey never make it to blue belt. And 99% of people who make it to blue never make it to black. How is it that the world's most effective martial art also has the highest dropout rate? Well, jiu-jitsu is super complex and very demoralizing. That's how. The Master's Cycle is a program that we've created so that any student of any age, man or woman, can move at their own pace in a very ego-free environment from blue to black belt. We've divided every single advanced jiu-jitsu technique that we teach into 7 positional chapters: mount, side mount, guard, half guard, back mount, leg locks, and standing techniques. And what we do is we spend 2 to 3 months studying each particular chapter. So for example, in the mount chapter, we'll do mount escapes, mount controls, mount submissions, and mount submission counters. And once we're done, we move on to side mount. And every single class during a particular chapter is mapped out in advance, so there's absolutely no guesswork. Back in the day, we would come to class and we didn't know what we were gonna teach. Classes on average had 10 to 15 students. Today we have a curriculum and the world loves a curriculum. So now we have upwards of 50 students in the class and they are excited to come back to class day after day after day because they know we have it all planned out for them. And it's so great to see how many more people are benefiting from jiu-jitsu thanks to the curriculum.
Started in 1994 at the Gracie Academy. It was over on Carson Street, and I trained for about 3 years there. Progression to us at that time was through submission. The more you could submit another person, the seemed more that you were successful in jiu-jitsu. So during that time, it made it very difficult to remember some of the things that you had learned. And then in 1997, my job, life got in the way, so I got away from jiu-jitsu and I didn't train for about 18 years. So I came back about 3 months ago, started training, and it is very structured. It's all aimed for you to learn and to absorb the material. Based on how it was in the past, I realize now why I stopped 18 years ago, but coming back now, seeing how it's so structured and safety is a priority in the classes here, I see that I'll be able to train for 20 to 30 years from here on out.
In the Master Cycle, we teach hundreds and hundreds of techniques, many of which are directly applicable in a street fight or MMA type situation. But there are also several techniques that would only apply in a grappling encounter between 2 jiu-jitsu trained opponents. The most important part of the Master Cycle is the fight simulation sparring that we engage in every single week. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's far too common for people to climb through the ranks literally all the way to black belt without ever having tested their techniques against a striking opponent. The same way you can drown in the ocean, you can drown in a street fight. And swimming is comparable to managing the distance. And this is a skill that you can only acquire when training with a striking opponent on a regular basis. If you can't manage the distance when it matters most, you will drown. In fight simulation sparring, students learn how to apply their techniques while managing the distance to avoid the knockout at all costs. So basically, our students have the opportunity to get into 52 fights a year without all the egos and the injuries they might get out on the streets. They stay ready so they don't have to get ready.
The great thing about coming here is the application with gloves and jiu-jitsu. So it's really trim out the technique and you only retain what really works. And the thing that also works for me in a deeper level is the concept. You know, this is not about learning a combination of moves that you have to repeat and repeat. It's about concept, about ideas. And now I start to really understand how to apply this concept to my body type and my age. And I know that I will be training Gracie Jiu-Jitsu for the rest of my life.
We give all of our advanced jiu-jitsu students free access to gracieuniversity.com so they can review all the advanced Master Cycle techniques anytime, day or night, from any computer or mobile device. And it's amazing the difference in progress that we see between the students who really take ownership of their progress and take advantage of this learning tool compared to students that don't. There are some people that think that jiu-jitsu has to be this painful, demoralizing experience that really tears you down physically and psychologically, and only the strong survive. But man, we totally disagree.
So for me, it's more like about being generous in training, you know, training more intensively, push the pace, but not being aggressive. So it's about fighting without fighting.
Yes, it's gonna be challenging and you might get bruised up a little bit, but if you approach the art with structure And with training partners who are really concerned with your safety and are there to help you grow, absolutely anyone can learn and stick with it all the way to black belt.
You don't have to be an athlete, or you don't have to be a young, super fit guy. It fits any body type, any type of people. You can be an engineer. I'm an art director. I have a great job and I do jiu-jitsu. So you can do both, you know. You can inject jiu-jitsu into your life, but not all your life into jiu-jitsu. It's about balance. And this is more than jiu-jitsu. It is really like a way of life for me.
Before my grandfather left us, he told me and Hiron to make sure that we continued making jiu-jitsu available for people who need it the most. And with the Master Cycle, we're doing just that.